Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we finally have a majorly good update when it comes to the PlayStation, where they finally are addressing one of the biggest fixes and issues we've had a chance to see in the PlayStation network, ecosystem, system, store, whatever you guys want to go and call it. Now, we've been seeing a lot of like small baby issues. Some things when it comes to shovelware, where they're selling, basically people are selling these AI slob, horrible games, no substance, and trying to either have people spam trophies or make money or whatever. And as well, we've also been seeing a lot of issues when it comes to bad customer service, such as PlayStation, just, like making it really hard to get a refund. It was a big deal even when Cyberpunk, on PlayStation 4 was basically unplayable. And well, it was hard. It was hard for almost any game to get money back. That's why it was even kind of cool they refunded Concord at the time. But now we finally have seen a major big change where the PlayStation Store games are now finally easy to refund, get fixed, and go from there. Let's go talk about it. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Leave a like and, of course, your thoughts down below. So this has been a big issue for a while. Even going on Reddit, you can see there is posts everywhere. We've discussed this on the channel. I myself have had issues where sometimes games are just struggles. Like, the game sucks, or there's a problem, or there's a game-breaking bug, and it's just not fun. Saying like, hey, can we talk about the PlayStation Store refund process? People are like, it's just broken. The only way to request a refund is through their chatbot, and the chatbot went through a huge maze of questions, only to end with the answer, like, no available customer service agents, please come back later. So even if you tried for like a week, there were issues. If you downloaded the game itself at all, which is like the first step, how would you know if a game is good or working good or is buggy? Or what if there was a random issue with your console? What if the game dev stops support? What if they accidentally push a game-breaking bug that has happened before, especially on Steam, even on PlayStation? Like what if the game just is not what you thought of? What if it was an AI slop game? Because we kept on seeing all these PlayStation Store shovelware issues. They were bringing up games that just sucked. Like we're talking games that were like even complete knockoffs of like Last of Us, like, the few of us, these types of games look like Joel, look like Ellie, you're in like the forest, there's zombies. They had like even PlayStation game knockoffs. And this was a big issue. Like there's hundreds of games out here, like maybe even the PlayStation demos out there might be a good example, where they have all these games like Metaphor, proper game, real game, A Burger in Space, maybe not the most in-depth game out there, but these are all just slop. These are all gross. Or maybe even like a VR game. Like imagine you buy a VR game on accident, the PlayStation VR 2. You couldn't, like if you have a PlayStation VR 1, it doesn't work with PlayStation VR 2. Or maybe you just don't even have it and the game looked cool, you forgot, your kid's on the game, your kid accidentally goes on PlayStation and buys 17 games and FIFA and Fortnite V-Bucks, whatever, stuff happens. And it was a problem to get it refunded. And this is why this news is big. Because the PlayStation Store is finally making it easier to get refunds. Thank God. That alone is worth a like here. So refunding a game on PlayStation Store is typically a hassle. That's why I went through all this stuff, like all these issues, and there's Reddit threads out here. This has 1.7 thousand upvotes. They're like, yes. And two as well, too, like they're like support just didn't do anything. Support just never cared. Support is just stupid, And they're even saying this honestly is a huge issue that doesn't get enough attention. The refund policy is utter BS and the most anti-consumer I've seen in a long time. Same thing goes to gifting digital games and buying digital games from other places than the PSN store. There are so many scam games lately in the store. So once again, what if you would have went into this and you found, and this has happened, you find the few of us, as I just referenced, like that's not like an exaggeration, that actually happened. I made a video on that forever ago. And you accidentally spend $50 on that. Maybe you're a kid, you thought it was the wrong game, first time buying something that happens, just, it is what it is. It is what it is. And then they weren't even able to make it refundable. Steam has a great process for this in comparison. Steam, you basically can refund almost any game as long as you're under, I believe, 2 hours of playing the game. So let's say you launch the game, there's some issues, some bugs, you don't like it, whatever. And you can request a refund, and I have never had them say no. I don't refund a lot of games, but like it does happen on occasion. And that just never happened on PlayStation. So now, but thankfully now it's changed. How do you easily request a PS Store game refund? Sony has now added a brand new request refund option in the store itself. It should be noted that this can only be done on the PlayStation Store website or through the PlayStation app, which is a little annoying. Like, I'd like to be able to do this just through my console. That would make things a lot easier, but still, this is still a win. Between the two, the app is much quicker, so use the app. And if you guys ever have to do this, this is something to know. Like, this is actually one of those weird, like, kind of cringy tutorials, but it's worth knowing. Here is how to request a PS Store game refund more easily with the PlayStation app, along with a picture. You know, here's the picture. Thank you, PlayStation Lifestyle, for the picture. Open the PS app and have the latest version, and then go into the PS Store. Hit the menu option with the PS Store at the top right of the screen. It looks like 3 horizontal lines. Hit the transaction history option, and it should be the last option in their menu. And then you tap on any of the purchases, and then you choose this request refund option. And this is a win. You know, this is a win. We do not want to have to spend a lot of money on games that suck. We don't want to spend a lot of money on shovelware and broken games. And this is like industry standard. Like I said, if you go on Steam, I can literally launch my Steam and refund the game within like a minute. Like, it's super easy, it's super consumer friendly, and it's a vibe. And now PlayStation does own their own platform, but they also want our users to be happy. Like, I don't want to be an unhappy guy when I'm playing these games, you know? Like, if the game sucks, what if I don't want it? You know, it is what it is. What if it's broken? More so if it's broken. So obviously the purchase above wouldn't be eligible since it's been over 14 days, and I believe that is what they're going for. I believe it's a 14-day window. I think that seems fair. You know, I think it seems fair. And if you forget about it, they most likely will not do it for you. Or if you have probably played a lot of the game as well, they'll probably be very similar to Steam. Like, you play a few hours, they're like, hey, like, the game might suck, but you played 18 hours of it. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Or it's been over 2 weeks. Hey, man, like, if you really disliked it, you really had the agency and urgency to do it, it would have been refunded. But basically, yeah, it's been over 14 days since the purchase, and if they've already downloaded the game too as well. However, this is the screen players will be greeted with, given the option to request a refund rather than having to go through the bot screen process, which I think that's a win. Like, no one wants to go through customer support and be begging, and then I think PlayStation used to maybe give like a one and done. Like, if you really begged for it, they'd be like, hey, we'll give you one refund, it's good to go, move on. But for right this second, I don't think that's the vibe. Like, you know, you need to be able to do more. Like, there's so many scams and even like shovelware. Now, if they have this stuff fixed, which they've tried to, and they've addressed it throughout the years, you know, it's not the end all be all, but it still is there, you know, and there are still new kids being born all the time. And there's all those weird trophy issues. Like, we have this stuff. Like, it's been going on for literally years on demos, on everything. You know what I mean? Like, look, like on consoles, you get the opportunity to get featured, but you're also on these automatic lists. If people are just pumping crap into the system, like, no offense to Space Burger, you know, like, I mean, I'm sure this dev's a lovely person. And by that, I mean, they were probably really hungry when they made that, and whoever buys it probably is too. But you have all these things, and they're getting, like, pushed down the list. So not only are there mostly children out there who may accidentally buy these things, you know, it is what it is, but it's being like the system's overwhelmed, you have all these big problems, and it just, you gotta be nice to the consumers. So if you have this too, if you also want to go to the store, you just have to sign in on the website itself, go to your account settings, hit the transaction history tab on the left-hand side, then choose to be eligible, purchase to be refunded, and it takes a little bit longer to go and do that too as well. Because they have made this statement, and this is why I'm happy, because they wanted to improve the PlayStation Store experience. And I think this is a big enough change that's worth talking about. Because if it's easier for refunds, easier to avoid scams and bot messages, easier to make sure your children don't accidentally spend $15,000 on V-Bucks, it's a good system all around. And I think this is nice for PlayStation. Like, they might lose a little bit of money, but I think all the money you would lose, you're getting back with, like, consumer vibes, like people who are happy. Like, I was more happy seeing this. So I think at the end of the day, this is something that was really, really needed. So, I mean, people are upset. People have made comments about this stuff. They've had issues everywhere due to as well. Even people are like, bro, just buy physical disc 2 on top of that. And even over here, saying there's a law in creation now that will make any digital purchase in gaming industry refundable. And it really should be. With how many scams, issues, broken games, and even things like Concord, if PlayStation didn't refund it, we all would be very upset. So subscribe if you guys are new, leave a like and your thoughts down below. Would love to hear it. And I appreciate you guys all very much for watching here in the first place.